My name is Chancey Shy Nelson. I am 40 years old. I am from Covington, Georgia. I have a son, age 14. My previous occupation was an educator, but I'm now retired due to my sickle cell anemia, and I'm disabled. Well, my parents first found out when I was about 1. My great aunt used to keep me, and so what happened was my feet had swollen up and she could not get my shoes on, and she said I was just crying tremendously like all through the day. So once my mom came home from work, she took me to the hospital. At that point they found out that I had sickle cell disease. For me, my cells are more sickle shaped, and because they're not whole or round, they don't hold as much oxygen. Because of that, it makes them hard and rigid. And so what happens is when red blood cells are traveling through my body and my joints and just different veins and arteries and capillaries, they tend to lock up because of their sickle shape, so they kind of lock up. But when that happens, it's hard for the regular red blood cells to get through and to get oxygen to parts of my body. Just growing up, period, as a teen, wanting to hang out and go to different events, football games, but it was raining, so the rain affects me. A lot of weather type things affect me. I tell people a lot of time, like, it's like an arthritis, where, I don't know if you ever hear old people say, oh, it's gonna rain, my knee is aching or something, I can tell it's gonna rain. Like, I feel like that sometimes. Like, I know when a storm is coming and different things of that nature. So when I'm in pain, which is typically every day, I'm in some sort of pain. But there's tolerable pain I can deal with, and then there's pain that when I need to take my pain medicine. So for those situations, I have like Motrin 800, which is more on the lighter end of things. And then I take Norco, which is also known as Lortab, and oxycodone.
SCD causes the body to create abnormal hemoglobin cells. Hemoglobin is a protein that carries oxygen through the body. The resulting cells have a sickle or crescent shape to them, which is where the disorder gets its name.
With sickle cell trait, there are far fewer issues, as most of these patients are asymptomatic, but they have to be aware that they could pass down the gene, and their children could become hemoglobin SS, which is sickle cell disease. So that's their primary problem, would be more of a related to their children possibly getting the disease.
I'm Dr. Richard Carter. I'm head of hematology at this office. And generally what we're trying to do is improve the oxygenation of the cells and prevent what we call sickle cell crisis, which causes a great deal of pain and organ damage. So what happens is the cells are different. The actual proteins have a different shape, and if they get low oxygen, they collapse and they become sharp and they sickle. It's like describing the shape of the cell, and they can get obstructed in small blood vessels that occur in the lungs and the kidney, and this is a very painful process. Now the treatment is fluid and hydration, and the body recovers from this, but over time, like years of time, these mal-shaped sickle cells damage organs.
My name is Karen Ravenel. I'm 47 years old, and I have sickle cell anemia. Actually, when I was born, I was tested because in the 70s, children who were born in certain states, children of color that is, were automatically tested for SC.
Sickle cell disease affects people of every background. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, people of sub-Saharan African descent are most likely to have the gene for SCD. It is also more common in South and Central America than in other areas of the Western Hemisphere.
It has affected me more now as an adult. As I get older, I have more pain crisis. Being a mom, it affects me a lot because when I do get sick, I have to factor in that who's going to take care of Jason? What is he going to do? Is he okay with it? And more recently, as he gets older, he's not as okay with it as he used to be. I can't do cold weather stuff with him. He understands that mommy can't do cold. Mommy can't get overexerted. And as a mom, you try to do as much as you can for as long as you can until you can't do anymore. Being that it's a disease that only affects people of color, it's not much of a concern to people. And that's really the way I see it. Once it starts affecting other people, maybe there'll be more awareness to it. But for now, because it's a disease for people of color, we're not as concerned. So,
my name is Cameron Jones. I'm 14. I'm from Covington, Georgia, and I'm in 9th grade. I first found out I had sickle cell trait when I was in 3rd grade, and me and my mom had a conversation about it, and she told me how it affects her.
And so basically that conversation really began because I realized he was getting older and needed to understand kind of what sickle cell was and why his mom was in the hospital at times and why he had to stay with his grandparents because I wasn't around.
With my mom having sickle cell disease, it's affecting me because I can't stay home when I want to. I have to go to different places.
I had to just look into it and understand what it is because it affects more people around us than we even know. Every night I take all of my meds, and this is just really all the meds that I take for my sickle cell. That's my typical night routine. And I already have my oxygen on because I also suffer from what they call hypoxia, which is deficit of oxygen.
My name is Kanika Sams Johnson. I am a respiratory therapist. They are studying and have research for a cure, which is like a stem cell bone marrow replacement. It's been successful in several patients. From my understanding of the patients that I've taken care of with sickle cell, it's like glass moving through their body. The treatment is blood transfusions, right? So if you give blood, it's healthy blood with circled red blood cells. So for like 2 or 3 months, it's gonna wash out the red blood cells. Sickle cell awareness is very good to know. It helps you not be judgmental of these people in pain. Some of these patients are strung out on drugs, pain medications, because they need something to help them get past that pain, and unfortunately drugs is that.
SCD is a lifelong disorder. Because of this, it is important to think of the long-term options that would enable a person with SCD to lead a long and happy life. To do this, a combination of medical options and lifestyle choices are usually recommended.
I guess my words would be the same words that my parents would tell me and some of my current doctors and things like that, which is just don't give up. Like, I did not allow sickle cell to stop me, and I would just tell people that, you know, sickle cell wins the battle sometime, but ultimately they'll win the war. So just keep fighting. You know, it will knock you off your feet at points, but you just get back up again.